Many of us are scared to go out and do the things that we're dying to do, either because we care about what others say, we're scared of failing, or we just don't go out and put the time to going on these crazy adventures or accomplishing these wonderful goals that we have. And sometimes us humans, we do things that we're not so proud of, and we aren't scared to do those things, and then we're like, wow, that was really dumb. Well, word of advice is I want you guys to go out there and do the things that you fear, but that are gonna add value to your life. Being fearless in a bold and brave way is way different from being fearless and stupid. So for those of you guys who have been subscribed, you know that I have a series on my channel called Never Have I Ever, where I go out and I do things that are out of my comfort zone, or activities that I've been really wanting to do, but I just never put the time into them. It's been almost 2 years since I created that series, and since I have done some crazy things like rappel down a 150-foot dam, I drove a mountain bike with no experience, I went surfing even though I was tremendously scared of running into a friendly shark, I've gone snowboarding, and I have the worst balance. All of these things I had been wanting to do for years, and I just never made the time for them because either I was super busy or I made excuses. Okay, so I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. So if I start rambling, I'm sorry, but I guess this is a story time slash a lesson for you girls or guys. A lot of you who watch my videos are young girls. I know there are some older women and men who watch my videos, but the majority are younger girls. And just anybody who can take something out of this video, I want you guys to really learn from something stupid that I did. The reason I started my series, Never Have I Ever, is because about 2 years ago, I was in this place where I wanted to live my life. I wanted to try new things. I wanted to be bold and brave, but I had been stuck at this job that I just wasn't finding excitement in. I had friends, I had really great friends, but in that time I was kind of losing connection with them and also with myself, and I made this goal of doing something new every month, but I didn't really put it out there. I didn't make like videos about that, but I started noticing I was kind of cheating my way out of it. Like I would do something simple and be like, that will count for my new thing. A lot of the things that I really wanted to do, like go on these crazy adventures, travel, and I wasn't focusing on all of these things I wanted to focus on. I was mainly focused on just working, and that's all. So like I mentioned, I was kind of lost and confused. I was still really trying to build core relationships in my life. Like I had my best friends, but some of them had moved out of state. Some of them, you know, life gets busy. We were all trying to figure out our lives. And I was also in this bad place with one of my best friends, and I just felt alone. There was this one night that I just felt super alone, and I wanted to reach out to someone. So I texted all of my friends and I was like, hey, do you want to hang out? And even the friend who I was trying to like really build our relationship again, and just everyone seemed to either have plans or have someone, and it just hit me. I was just kind of like, oh my god, I really want to go out and do something. I want to like have a fun night, but I don't have anybody to do that with. I get this Tinder message on my phone. So at the time I was doing online dating. If you guys haven't seen the video as to why I quit online dating, you should watch that. But anyways, I get this message from this guy who I had been talking to for like maybe 2 days, and he's like, hey, you want to go grab a drink and like chit chat? And I was like, heck yeah. Mind you, it was 10 p.m. so this already is like a red flag, and it's definitely something that myself at the time would have been scared to do, but I was in that attitude where I was like, I'm fearless, nothing's gonna happen to me, I'm gonna be okay. So anyways, I go on this date, it's going great. This guy's very mature, and something that really just draws me to him during the date is that he was that person who I wanted to be, in the sense of like, he was this fearless guy who did crazy things like jump off cliffs into the water and like snowboard and cycle, I don't know, 3,000 miles across the country. He was this really adventurous person, and I was like, I want to be that person. So when the date ended, he asked if I wanted to go over his place, and I was like, no way, like this is not something that I wanted to do. But I don't know what got into me that I was just like, sure. So I followed him to his place. I was very young and innocent and naive. Just thinking about it, I'm like, Karla, I wish I would have been there to just take you out. But anyways, when I got to his place, he asked me if I wanted to play Never Have I Ever. So my image of him went from like this really mature guy who had experienced the world and knew about so much about religion and culture and all of this, to a boy who wants to get answers from me and play Never Have I Ever. So we did for like 2 questions until he realized that I was not the type of girl who was going to give in to certain things. I was being this like curious person who's like, oh, this sounds fun, and like an older guy, and you know, I'm being adventurous and like nothing's gonna happen to me, and like I could have put myself in a bad situation. Just that thought came to my mind after I left his place, and I started bawling. I was like, why did I go there? I was being this stupid 24-year-old who was like curious of experiencing things, and thankfully I didn't cave and I didn't do anything that I was gonna regret. Me being somebody who was just not experienced in that sense, and I felt like I had done something that was so out of my usual like self. I felt so ashamed of myself, and I like cried for like weeks out of this, and then I thought, like, why did you even get yourself in that situation? And I had realized, because in that moment when I met this guy, I was like, I want to be that person. I want to be this adventurous, crazy person that fears nothing. But you got to realize that you can't fear the good. You have to fear the bad, and that's what I learned. And that's something that my mom had taught me. You know, she said that like a lot of the times people are so scared of like doing things that they love. Like, for example, I was always scared of public speaking, even though I wanted to talk and share my stories, and I was like always like, oh man, no, I don't have the look or the personality, or I'm too shy. I would always make excuses, and I would fear going out to do things that would add value to my life because I either cared of what people would say or I was scared of failing. Here I was going to this stranger's place one night, and I realized, why in that moment did I not fear what could have happened to me, the bad? It was just like in the moment thinking like, oh, this is gonna be fun, he's cute, I'm gonna go to his house, like I'm so adult, I'm grown up. Anyways, that affected me for a long time. I wasn't able to date or go on dates for an entire year. So like I said, it happened 2015, all of that year until this year in January I was able to date again. And it wasn't because I was like traumatized, it was just because, wow, I didn't think I was gonna be that person who like would do something so stupid, because that just wasn't who I was. And then that moment I like ended up at this stranger's house. So it was just me being like, I can't do this. And the reason why I started Never Have I Ever was because we played that game that night, and I was like, oh my god, never have I ever. And I've always wanted to do these crazy adventurous things that this guy had shared with me. So instead of dwelling on this mistake that I made that night and feeling bad about it and putting myself down for what I did, I was like, you know what? I am gonna pick myself back up, and I am gonna do this series, Never Have I Ever, and I'm gonna be this adventurous person that I wanted to be for a long time, and just kept like just hiding in a room trying to just focus on work. So yeah, that's how my series Never Have I Ever came to be. Actually, in the trailer that I released, which you guys can watch up here, I do talk about the whole like, I wanted to do things that I fear but would add value to my life, rather than doing stupid things that would just make me feel really bad about myself. And maybe some of you guys who are watching this video are thinking like, Karla, that's not a bad thing. Like, a lot of girls, you know, on a date go to a guy's house. Men and women out there are allowed to do whatever they want with their own body and surround themselves with whoever they want. I just wasn't that type of girl, and I'm not that type of girl, and I'm not saying I'm holy and I don't make mistakes, but that was probably one of the biggest mistakes I had made. So the reason I started Never Have I Ever was because of a boy. Who would have known? I look back at this, and those who watch my videos, you know, when you guys watch videos, you kind of get the idea of how somebody is, but not exactly the inspiration behind a series or why they started creating this type of video and this type of video. I feel like I needed that because I was the type of person that any little mistake I would make at the time, it being like the first time I got drunk and felt super bad about it, like I was this like horrible human. I grew up with a lot of moral integrity, and so anytime I would do something that was out of that, I would beat myself up about it, and I don't want to live that way. Like, if I make a mistake and I try to live my life as best as I can, but if I'm going to make a mistake, I don't want to dwell on it. I don't want to put myself down about it. Take this mistake you make and you grow from it and you move on. So for those young girls out there watching this, young adults, or just anybody who can relate to this, and you guys have lived your life continuously making mistakes and surrounding yourselves with bad people and doing things that aren't going to add value to yourself, just ask yourself, why are you doing those things? And just focus on transitioning into doing things that you fear that you will get value out of, and you will become a better you, a better version of yourself. Stop, making excuses as to why you're not doing these crazy adventures, why you're not going after your dreams. Focus on doing that type of stuff rather than focusing on things that are just clutter in your mind. If you're in college and all you're focusing on is going on parties, like trying to get the hot guy and all these things, those things don't matter. Like right now, at this age, it is important that you build yourself up and that you do those crazy, amazing, positive things that you've been putting off. If it took that one night for me to do something stupid, for me to become this fearless, bold person that I am today, well then it was meant to be and I learned from it. So I hope you guys go out there and don't put yourselves down about mistakes that you've done, but instead grow from them and just live life. What is something that you've been wanting to do that you've never done before? I mean, my series Never Have I Ever is my baby because it's just so close to my heart because of this person that I've become, because of me not being scared of doing things that I want to do and expressing myself and caring about what other people think. Even making this video, I was a little hesitant to make it because for those who don't know me, people can have this idea of the person that I am or am not, and that's scary, like for those who haven't seen me grow, I still kind of battle with being concerned of what people think of me, and I overthink and I'm like, oh no, what is this person gonna think if I tell them this or if I tell them that? And honestly, at the end of the day, it's how you feel about yourself, how you love and respect others. If you believe in the greater guy up there, like your relationship with him, your heart is yours and you know the kind of person you are. But still, that is the one thing that I wish I could be better at, like caring less of what others think of me or will assume of me. So I know in time I will get better at that. But yeah, I'm glad that I made this video and I hope that you guys learned something from it. By the way, if you guys are not up to date with my channel, I know some of you guys don't get notifications, be sure to hit that notification bell, or you can go to my channel and check out the different playlists that I have. I have a playlist for my Never Have I Ever series, my old Karla's Car Conversations where I talk about everything life and relationships, and then I have my travel playlist, so if you guys want to go check those out, be sure to just go on over to my channel. And yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed, I hope you guys subscribe and you guys are part of this channel. If you guys just subscribed, welcome to What Would Karla Say? Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.